Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Sound English Half Five. Today we're going to talk about very interesting phenomenon considering mixing of two languages within one person's speech. The word calque is known in a lot of languages, but what does it actually mean in English? Take a look.
Chapter 1 A Mundane Theory.
A linguistic calque, also known as the loan translation, is a phenomenon of using words or phrases from one's native or dominant tongue literally in the different language. It happens when an individual uses a given language, one of two, more often. Sometimes it makes phrases of a second or less dominant language a bit puzzling, but bear in mind that it's not always a mistake. If you learn English, for example in Poland, as a second language, saying things like I play in football or I see it on the picture is a big mistake that should be corrected. But on the other hand, if you're bilingual and you've been raised in two languages simultaneously, it's a natural process and has nothing to do with a bad will.
Hell yeah!
So, since we know what we're talking about, let's base our lesson on somebody actually very interesting and very acknowledged. Who's gonna be our hero today?
Krzysztof Soszyński is a retired Polish-Canadian professional MMA fighter, part-time actor and a novice drum and bass DJ known as Chapter 2. Born in Stalowa Wola, Poland in 1977, in July of 1987 he relocated to Canada and was raised dub. It naturally affected the way he speaks Polish.
Alright!
Recently, Krzysztof Soszyński, nicknamed K-Sus or the Polish Experiment, has visited Poland and gave some interviews. One of them that we're gonna cite, the one from Nuance Radio, gonna give us a lot of nice examples of calques being used by a bilingual person. It's not here to mock him, but to learn something. He's a great inspirational guy that speaks both Polish and English very well. But because of his bilingual upbringing, he sometimes mixes these languages. Let's see, how does it look like?
Nikim ja jestem. Jestem chłopak, który tylko pracuje ciężko, tylko to mogę powiedzieć.
In a first clip, Krzysztof said Nikim ja jestem, which is a direct translation of nobody I am. In Polish, it usually sounds a bit different, but still we can understand him clearly, right?
Pierwszą klasę jiu-jitsu wziąłem, jak miałem 25 lat.
Second example is a phrase pierwszą klasę wziąłem, which is the direct translation of the first class I took. With I took, it's not a big problem, but klasa in Polish more often means a group of people or the place of learning.
Now you're talking.
Przez to włożyłem się tak głęboko, to już nie jest pasja, to jest obsesja teraz, co ja robię.
The third one is definitely the most confusing phrase. Krzysztof said, włożyłem się tak głęboko. What he meant was that he threw himself so deeply into DJing. However, the Polish word włożyłem concerns the items more than the feelings and decisions of being caught up in something.
Zawsze byłem prawdziwy z wszystkimi, nie? Że nigdy nikomu nie powiedziałem, że nie daję ci autografu, że tego wszystkiego, że...
Next calque includes the misused word of prawdziwy, being directly translated from true. It might be a bit puzzling, but it's definitely understandable, at least more or less.
Ale kopię po głowie, jak najtwardziej może.
I guess most of you know that the word hard has got a lot of meanings, including two that actually Krzysztof found the same also in Polish. Instead of saying najmocniej, he said najtwardziej. Hard, hard.
Miał chłopaka, który dla niego pracował z przodu jego dziemu.
This one is highly interesting word-to-word translation of vocabulary. Work at the front means something like work at the reception desk, and gym means what it means. Krzysztof used these words, which is natural for him, in the same positions.
Wchodzę na samolot, facet przede mną, to miejsce jest za małe.
Number 7 is an English preposition of place used in Polish. Instead of saying wchodzę do samolotu, Christoph used the English phrase of getting on a plane. As simple as that.
I believe I can fly.
O to chodzi. Obojętnie co robisz, zarabiasz 1000 zł, czy zarabiasz 500 zł, czy zarabiasz 3000 zł, 10 000 zł. Być dobrym do ludziom, uśmiechnij się do nich i całkowicie będziesz miał inne życie.
Last but not least, the 8th Calques is a simple translation of be kind to people. Kinda different in traditional Polish, but also understandable. Please remember the statement from the last clip. It's wise, true, and really inspiring.
You can take a screen.
Way to go.
To make the long story short, as you could see and as you could hear, Calques recently started his second chapter, chapter 2, chapter of him being a drum and bass DJ. That's why our practical point of this lesson will be also held in the style of drum and bass. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episodes. Bye bye.
Chapter 2, A Curious Reality.
To już nie jest pasja, to jest obsesja. O to chodzi. To już nie jest pasja, to już nie jest pasja, to już nie jest pasja, to jest obsesja. O to chodzi. Uśmiechnij się, być dobrym, 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 uśmiechnij się. Prawdziwie z wszystkimi. Uśmiechnij się, być dobrym, uśmiechnij się, być dobrym. Pasuje ciężko, tylko co mogę powiedzieć. Pasuje ciężko, tylko co mogę powiedzieć. Pasuje ciężko, tylko co mogę powiedzieć. O to chodzi. Uśmiechnij się, być dobrym, uśmiechnij się, być dobrym, uśmiechnij się, być dobrym, uśmiechnij się, być dobrym. Prawdziwie z wszystkimi. O to chodzi, dzieje z wszystkimi. O to chodzi, dzieje z wszystkimi. O to chodzi, dzieje z wszystkimi. Uśmiechnij się, być dobrym. Pasuje ciężko, tylko co mogę powiedzieć.